Hello and welcome back to Invincible Asia. I'm George Clark and today I get to check out the first volume of the Game of Clones Bruceploitation collection released on Blu-ray by Severin Films. Don't forget folks, before we go any further, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, ring the bell and all that jibber jabber, and thank you very much for supporting Invincible Asia.
These identical specimens of the late Bruce Lee are trained in all the martial arts.
Well, this is pretty friggin' exciting stuff, and I know most of you already have got this in your possession, so I'll not keep you too long. I do want to go through it with you, of course, as much as I possibly can, but this gorgeous release from Severin Films has been hitting social media like wildfire for the last lot of months, and now it's finally upon us. Everyone has been showing their copy at home, which is just fantastic. I've now managed to get mine, which is wonderful. I'm super excited to get stuck into these. It's not, I have to say, in terms of my video collection, my VHS collection, the Bruceploitation movies were never really something that I built up a large number of. There's a few there, but there's not really a huge selection of Bruceploitation movies. There is in the DVD collection, mind you, and some of those I will share with you because I did notice some of the titles are in here. But there's a lot going on here. There's a lot to love, and before I even get stuck into it, could probably say that this is going to be one of my favorite releases of 2024, without a doubt. But first of all, look at this gorgeously designed box set released by Severin Films, as I say. Volume 1, so we're hoping that there is going to be a lot more coming our way pretty soon, hopefully. Much like the likes of Arrow have been putting out with Shawscope, or Shout Factory have been putting out their Shaw Brothers collection. This would be great to see all these Bruceploitation movies kind of cleaned up, released to us in the way that they were meant to be seen, I suppose. Again, there are a bunch of movies that probably haven't gained the respect they deserve until now, and this is why I'm very, very excited to get stuck into this. So what do we got here? We have a 7-disc collection that includes 12 restored Bruceploitation classics, plus the award-winning documentary Enter the Clones of Bruce, from Michael Worth and Frank Jang, with over 100-page book of essays, posters, rare photos, and over 23 combined hours of special features, which is just friggin' wonderful. It looks amazing. It really does look amazing. The whole design of it is just flawless. I don't have anything negative to put towards this, and I haven't even got into the box yet. So inside we have got, a very sturdy box. Like, I mean, that is friggin' solid there, and you could stand on that. It is that thick. Very nice. I'll set that here for now. But what we have here, of course, is that 100-page book, and then your book of Blu-rays right here. So I'll get into the Blu-rays first because I want to spread this artwork out. As you can see, neatly designed there with that blue tone over it, which is lovely. And inside, I don't know what the best way is to show you that, but we have got Enter the Clones of Bruce, the documentary, of course, which I'm very excited to see. There's been a lot of hype behind this. We've got then, on this second disc, we have the Clones of Bruce Lee and Enter 3 Dragons. Sorry, very difficult to read. We have got Enter the Game of Death, Goodbye Bruce Lee, The Last Game of Death. Then we have The Dragon Lives Again, crazy movie, absolutely bonkers. Bruce and the Iron Finger, which I did on Cargo Blu-ray as Shaolin Handlock pretty recently. Challenge of the Tiger, Cameroon Connection, wow. Super Dragon, the Bruce Lee story, The Dragon Lives, and then The Dragon the Hero, and Rage of the Dragon. And then on the back here, there is a blue envelope which seems to be housing something else. And I'm just going to pop that out and get a proper look at what's inside, because this is some sort of a surprise disc. But, oh, wow. Okay, so The Big Boss Part 2 and The Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger. 2 more films right here, and I am super hyped for The Big Boss Part 2. I hope it's got the restoration it deserves. Wow, I did hear rumors that that was going to be put out with this. Frig me, I am so excited. I'm actually more excited for that than I am any of the others, if I'm being honest. Now, unfortunately, both of those films on that disc don't get a write-up here on the back like the rest. What have we got? On the inside here, we have all the special features that come on each disc. And there's quite a lot going on here. You've got audio commentaries, you've got interviews, you've got deleted scenes, that kind of things. But also over here above the disc, you have the time of the running of the film itself, various languages, English, Chinese and French subtitles. The likes of the older films there, you have again 90 minutes, English mono. And I did notice that the most of these are in English. But again, plenty of extra features on the most of them. Enter the Three Dragons there. Not so many special features. Enter the Game of Death, Goodbye Bruce Lee, his last Game of Death, plenty of extra features there. And again, over here we have that text breaking down the time, the language, and its ratio. I really can't wait to see these cleaned up. Both again here, some great extra features there. English mono on both movies. No original language options, which I'm really surprised at, unless they are in there. Challenge of the Tiger and Cameroon Connection. So with Cameroon Connection, I did notice then it has French mono with English subtitles. The only one of the lot, I do believe, that isn't presented in English. With Super Dragon and The Dragon Lives, again, English mono there, correct ratios, etc. And with the final two, The Dragon Hero and Rage of the Dragon, both in English mono. I know with American Kung Fu movie fans, the English dub is kind of a must. It's one thing a lot of people always write to me to confirm and ask, is the English dub on, say, Fist of Legend, for example, is one of the latest ones. I couldn't care less. I don't watch the English dubs anymore unless they're here on my videos. This is more of a nostalgic thing for me. But no, since I probably hit around 18, 19 years of age, I was straight into the original language options there, which started to come out from Made in Hong Kong, and that was me hooked. I didn't need to go back to a dub, and rightly so. Anyway, some of these titles that are in here, I have got on DVD. Bruce Lee True Story. I'm guessing that this one, and I'm only taking a guess because I know some of them are, I think that's Super Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. I think that that's what that is there. But who knows? I'll do a wee comparison. Shaolin Handlock, which is the Iron Finger, Bruce and the Iron Finger, which is the cargo Blu-ray that I did put out there. And this did come with the reconstructed longer version. So I don't know what I'm going to get from Severin's output, but this was a pretty good Blu-ray release. I did enjoy it. The Dragon Lives Again. This bonkers one where I think it takes place in the underworld or in purgatory, and there's a lot of wildness goes on in this movie, but it's a lot of fun, so I'm very excited to see it in full HD. Enter the Game of Death, another fun movie with Bruce Lee with one E, Lee Hoi San and many other familiar faces there. Now this is the cheap Vengeance label that was released here in the UK, but I did get the Vengeance pack limited edition, 249 of 250 this was, and I really wanted this for this spectacular artwork from Kung Fu Bob. But this was a great Blu-ray release. Really loved the movie, so it'd be nice to put that up against what Severin have put out there. And then we have Dragon on Fire and The Dragon the Hero. I've a funny feeling these may be the same movies. Just want to double check on that, of course, and I do believe it is in here. But anyway, I can't wait to see all of these in full HD. Honestly, the reports from everyone online seem to be so hyped. They seem to be like loving what Severin Films have put out here. So for that, I am super excited. In terms of the booklet, there's a lot going on here. Wow. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to get through all of this with you, but I will do a flick of the pages. As you can see, that same artwork folds round to the back here. But the volume 1 that is present on both the box set and the book here is quite important, because that lets us see that they're already thinking ahead, that they're going to give us hopefully a 2, 3, and down the line maybe even more. Let me quickly flick through this and see what is going on, because there is a lot. Wow, this is nice. Beautifully put together. Lots of artwork and posters to enjoy here. Absolutely. Wow. Gorgeous. My goodness me. Wow. Very excited. And again, you know, it's interesting. Obviously, it's an interesting subgenre, but interesting to figure out why they picked the selection of movies that they did for this first box set. I haven't seen all of them, which makes it even more exciting for me. But also, it'd be great to listen to those audio commentaries, just to hear their views on why these particular movies were selected. That book is absolutely stunning. Can't wait to sit down and check it out in full. I am going to go now and spend the next few days getting through as much of this as I possibly can, including all those special features and the book, and I'll come right back to let you know what I think. So I am finally back after checking out the complete everything about the Game of Clones box set, Bruceploitation collection, volume 1 from Severin Films. My god, what a lengthy watch, but amazing, absolutely amazing. Definitely one of my favourite releases of the year, without a doubt, quite possibly the favourite. That said, okay, so this is volume 1. Yeah, there's always a that said, and I know some of you are waiting on it. I'm just very blunt and honest about it. But there's definitely a movie or two on here I'm surprised made volume 1. There's a couple of movies here I would have put on volume 3 or 4 when people have started to care a bit less. But that said, it's still a pretty amazing piece. Overall, it's an amazing piece. The whole setup, I mean, is just beautiful. This, of course, is the Enter the Clones of Bruce, the documentary disc that I have in here to share with you as a menu piece. Plenty of extras on here, and I'm going to go through each disc with you right after this. When you pop in every other disc, which has 2 films on each, it will give you each title to choose from before it goes into its own menu for that particular movie, which is brilliant. We've seen it done 1,000 times by other distributors. Each movie, though, isn't as pristine. They're beautifully presented, and some of the prints compared to the DVDs and some Blu-rays that I have of those films already really looked incredible. But they're not as restored, not as pristine as what we have come to expect from the likes of 88 Films, Eureka, Vinegar Syndrome, that kind of a thing. There still has those, they still have those film jitters, those lines that dance across the screen, those speckles that pop up there. And I feel that this did add to that experience of, you know, you'll see a lot through this box set of the extra features of Michael Wirth and others talking about how they went to Kung Fu theaters and saw these movies for the first time. I feel leaving those kinds of things as part of those movies, as part of that experience, kind of takes you back to that. Yes, it would have been amazing to watch them absolutely 2 and 4K restored without a blemish or a blip on them. It would, of course it would, absolutely. But that still added to the experience and give these films character. Also, I talked about it, I think, before when I was opening the box, that none of them had their, really apart from one, their original language options with English subtitles. It would have been great to watch these in Cantonese with English subtitles as an option. The dubs are there though, the classic English dubs, and they are hilarious for the most part. Each film also opens up with the Severin's Kung Fu Theatre. This is about a minute and a half of Michael Wirth introducing the movie. It's a fun wee piece to watch. I started all my movies with it. It's also in the extra features there if you just want to watch it as a separate piece without going into the movie. But it's pretty cool to see because there's often a poster for the movie that we're about to watch, or there's a collection of videos behind him and so on. But it is a nice wee piece to add to that. I really quite enjoyed that also. I mean, I'm going to go through each of these discs with you, as I say, and break down the extras and everything that comes with this box set. But I definitely, hats off and kudos to Michael Wirth and the guys at Severin for producing such an incredible, incredible box set. Beautifully done. I mean, beautifully done. I didn't bore of watching these over and over, watching them as they were presented, watching them with their audio commentaries, watching all the extra features. This was absolutely beautifully done. Very bright, very colourful, and a lot of fun. In fact, it's actually wanting me to kind of like hulk out more Bruceploitation movies here and watch them again in the hope that that's something we're going to see cleaned up further down the line. But yes, for me, definitely a double thumbs up. Extremely super glad that it's in my collection. Out now from Severin Films. Hang about if you want to find out what's on each disc. If not, thanks for watching, enjoy your Kung Fu, and I will speak to you soon. The first disc of the collection is Enter the Clones of Bruce, the documentary that everyone has been talking about and waiting for such a long time, and I tell you, the wait has been worth it. My favourite Hong Kong movie documentary is Deadliest Art, the best of the martial arts, but this, I feel, is absolutely right up there next to it. It is a beautifully put together documentary with so many incredible people, and just amazing what Michael Wirth and others have managed to do in pulling this together, in creating something that has been laughed at for so many years to make it as important as it is. And you find that and you feel that and you see that within this documentary. It is absolutely incredible. Now, as mentioned, each of the movies in the box set start with Severin's Kung Fu Theatre, which is a 1.5 minute or just over introduction to what you're about to watch with Michael Wirth. And Enter the Clones of Bruce is no exception. It has its own there, with Michael Wirth introducing director David Gregory. As a fun piece, you can see that he's extremely thankful to David for what he's allowed him to do with this and in putting this box set together as a whole. It is just wonderful and a great way to start not just a documentary, but every movie in the collection. As for the doco itself, as I say, I loved it. It was just incredible, wonderfully written, beautifully directed, with great interviews. Of course, there are a host of extra features on there. I've yet to go back and watch it again with the audio commentary with everyone involved. I'm looking forward to that, mind you. That said, everything else I did check out there. You have the Working at Shaw's outtakes. Very interesting piece with most of the directors and those who worked at the Shaw Brothers Studios, including the great Godfrey Ho himself, of course. This runs for just over 19 minutes in length. It opens with a note talking about the documentary initially having a 3-hour cut. I would have been up for that, absolutely. But these are pretty much extended interviews of those people seen throughout the documentary, which is just great. The Bruce Lee and I outtakes, again, these are extended intro interviews. They run for about 24 minutes in length. And then you have The Lost World of Kung Fu film negatives. These are outtakes with the likes of Godfrey Ho, Joseph Lai, Angela Mao Ying, Lee Cho Nam, and others. And it is just fantastic to see. Another 16 minutes, and it's kind of cut segments of interviews about the preservation of movies, Hong Kong movies, Bruce Lee movies, etc., etc. Very, very good to see there. Then you have Bruce's Hong Kong tour with Frank Zheng there. It's a just over 27 minutes in length of Frank Zheng touring us around Hong Kong, showing us locations connected to Bruce Lee and his movies, as well as his own life, of course, there. And then you have got a host of trailers for the documentary itself. You have the first that runs just under 3 minutes, the second that runs for 2 minutes, and then you have a 30-second teaser on there also. Overall, an amazing start to the collection, and a wonderful documentary that should be seen by every fan of Hong Kong cinema. The second film of the collection is The Clones of Bruce Lee, an absolutely bonkers movie, which I have never had the privilege of seeing, but I didn't know what to expect, and it was a lot of fun. Again, opens with Severin's Kung Fu Theatre intro with Michael Worth, which is a fantastic little introduction to what you're about to see, because you kind of need that warning before you get into it. Scanned and restored from 2 prints cut together, the German and the Italian print. Overall, a gorgeous picture, a fun dub, and an absolutely wild film. The audio commentary itself was great listen. I really enjoyed that. And then you have an interview with John T. Benn. Of course, John T. Benn had worked with the real Bruce Lee in Way of the Dragon. This runs for about 16 minutes in length, just over 16 minutes, and he does appear in The Clones of Bruce Lee, of course. Here, though, in his interview, he looks very ill and weary, extremely sick man, but a very interesting and emotional look back at his life and his career in Hong Kong cinema. I would be lying if I didn't say I shed a tear by the end of this. Then you have a trailer that runs for under 2 minutes in length, a little bit more unrestored than the film, so definitely well worth checking out before you go into that main presentation. The third film on the set is the fantastic Enter Three Dragons. I really love this movie. I have a great time with it, but this was the first time I saw it as good as I've ever done. Stunning picture quality, bonkers movie, great cast, and fantastic fights. Not too many extra features with this one, unfortunately. You do have that introduction from Michael Worth with Severin's Kung Fu Theatre, and then you have a trailer that runs for about 3.5 minutes, which is pretty cool to watch, but definitely unrestored, and again, worth checking out before you go into that cleaned up print. The fantastic Enter the Game of Death is the next film on the list. This is one of my favourite Bruce Lee movies. This restoration overall was pretty damn great. I put it up against the Vengeance Pack German Blu-ray release, and it definitely came across much more sharper and colourful than what they have presented on their own Blu-ray release. That said, I still love what the Vengeance Pack have done, and they have delivered their own collection of special features, so I will be hanging on to that as much as I have this superior version as part of this collection. The audio commentary makes for a good listen, as they all do. Then you have the scene select commentary with the wonderful Chu Chi Ling and Michael Worth. This runs for about 4.5 minutes. It is absolutely hilarious. I don't even know if this guy realizes what he's watching, but he cracks me up. Of course, many of you will recognize him as the very flamboyant Taylor from Kung Fu Hustle and tons of other Kung Fu movies. He's just a genuinely great guy, a genuine Kung Fu master, and always a joy to watch. But these scene select commentaries with him are hilarious because he doesn't really talk about it. He just whenever there's a fight scene, he just really gets into it, but it's absolutely well worth checking out. Thankfully, there is a short of a 15-minute interview with Chu Chi Ling after that. I mean, an absolute crazy guy, and certainly wonderful. He actually learned Kung Fu in the beginning that I learned from this interview from his uncle, who was taught by Wong Fei Hung. So that's worth checking out because there's a lot of great things to learn about this amazing actor and martial artist there. We also have a round table discussion. The first round table discussion of the collection runs for just over 11 minutes in length. And this is a fun chat with the likes of Michael Worth and others about watching The Game of Death and Bruce Lee for their first time. That's worth checking out also. Then you have a trailer, runs for about 3 minutes in length. This time presented, the movie itself, Enter the Game of Death, presented as its alternate title, The King of Kung Fu, and it's a pretty cool trailer. I did watch it twice because it was that exciting. Unrestored, but definitely again worth checking out before you get stuck into that new HD print. That's followed by the fun Goodbye Bruce Lee, His Last Game of Death. Yep, that same film that carries the soundtrack with that funky song, King of Kung Fu, sung by Candy, and you will hear it repeatedly throughout this movie. But it's a fun movie. It's a very interesting movie with very weird editing choices. But there's such a great print and there's so much to enjoy about it. I really enjoyed it overall. Cut from the originally released as New Game of Death and then recut for the American market as Goodbye Bruce Lee. There's great audio commentary there with Frank Jang and Chris Pajali. That makes for a great listen for sure. Some great insights to the movie itself and those involved in it. Then you have The Last Kung Fu Picture Show. This is a doco piece about the theaters in the Bay Area of San Francisco. Runs for just over 12 minutes in length, and it's a great short documentary with the likes of Frank Jang and Mike Wirth talking about the Kung Fu cinemas in and around San Francisco. Made me extremely jealous that we never had them here in Northern Ireland. As with many things, of course. Then there's a host of deleted scenes for the movie. These run under 12 minutes in length, presented in widescreen but unrestored. One of which includes an extended gym scene at the opening, which I'm glad they did cut, to be honest. Then you have the Muhammad Ali style fight, which also is presented as a deleted scene. And this was filmed because they caught wind that perhaps Bruce Lee may have Muhammad Ali. There was a rumor going around, which of course it didn't turn out to be true, but they filmed a fight scene with a Muhammad Ali type character, which was quite fun to watch, I have to say. Then you have a radio spot that runs for just over a minute on the movie. That made for a fun listen. And then of course the extensive 4-minute plus trailer. But overall, a fun movie and one that I will get back to eventually. Following that, we have the absolutely bonkers Bruce Leung movie, The Dragon Lives Again. This movie is just fucking mental. What other movie are you going to see Bruce Lee in purgatory fighting the likes of Clint Eastwood, James Bond, Satoichi, the One-Armed Swordsman is there, Popeye, the Laurel and Hardy. It's just friggin' mental. And I have to say though, this is absolutely the best I have ever seen this movie look. This 35mm print from the American Film Archive is presented in full HD, and although there's a rough grindhouse start to the movie with dancing green lines throughout, it starts to get better and it does make for a very good watch, especially with that classic English dub there. There's a great audio commentary with Frank Jang and Mike Wirth. That is so much fun to listen to. I mean, this is absolutely a movie you couldn't get bored of. Then there's some deleted scenes. They're just under 7 minutes in length. They're DVD quality in French language with English subtitles. And to be honest, really nothing amazing. So if you don't even watch that, you're not missing much. Then Lovely John does an audio essay, which is basically another audio commentary, but it is absolutely well worth a listen. I had a good time with that one, I have to say, and I will go back to it. And then you have an unrestored trailer yet again. This is great fun, but such a difference in the quality presented with this trailer. So that, again, I please highly recommend you watch this first. It's just under 2 minutes in length. Watch this unrestored trailer first before you go into that HD print, and it will knock your socks off. Following that, we have the fantastic Bruce and the Iron Finger, aka Shaolin Handlock. I did put it up against my German Blu-ray release of Shaolin Handlock, and it just wiped the floor with it. This is absolutely the superior version. 35mm print scan, full HD, but definitely again with plenty of lines and speckles throughout there that gives that grindhouse quality. Still, it was greater and better restored than the German Blu-ray, as I said. The audio commentary with Mike Wirth was good fun and absolutely well worth listening to if you want to learn more about this and his excitement for the movie. There's a lot of great fights throughout it, of course. My first Bruceploitation roundtable discussion. The second roundtable discussion running for just under 11 minutes in length. This is again a fun discussion looking back at everyone's first time catching a Bruceploitation movie, the disappointment in it, but also starting to learn to love what this subgenre of Kung Fu cinema was giving us. Then you have the US trailer that runs for just under 2 minutes in length, 4:3, presented VHS quality, but definitely a fun trailer to watch. And then you have the Hong Kong trailer that runs for over 4 minutes in length, presented in widescreen, Cantonese with English subtitles, better quality. So yes, it may be a lengthy trailer, but it's still a lot of fun to watch. Another of my favourite Bruce Lee movies, Challenge of the Tiger, follows that, which I just adore. I used to have this movie on VHS way back when. Really sorry I got rid of it because it's so hard to find now, and I just love the cover with it. This though, wow. I mean, wow, this picture was fantastic for the most part. A few wee film jiggles here and there, but absolutely highly acceptable. This is by far one of the most fun films in the whole collection overall. Great to see him and Richard Harrison paired up there. I totally forgot about Richard Harrison and how much involvement he had in this, but this was a lot of fun, and to see it in full HD just made me love it even more. The audio commentary with Mike Wirth and Courtney Jr. was great to listen to. Again, plenty of informative stuff there and a lot of fun to be had listening to it. And then you have another unrestored trailer that runs for just under 4 minutes in length. Brilliant fun, and again one I would highly recommend you watch before you go into that new restoration and be blown away with what is presented here. Following that is Cameroon Connection, a movie that I absolutely would have left off this collection and probably shoved back to the end of the queue for perhaps volume 3 or volume 4. Did not enjoy this at all. A very slow and boring movie with a few good fight scenes, and that was really only when Bruce Lee came on screen. I actually don't even know why it was included in a Bruceploitation collection. There's so much more out there that could have took its place. Anyway, stunning picture quality, dreadful film for the most part, although I do appreciate what went into it, and it's not badly made. It's just a boring as fuck movie. That's it. It was so boring. I actually couldn't even do the audio commentary to watch it again. So I will go back to it one day and check that out, but just not now. Fucking hell. Anyway, there's another extra feature there called The Life and Films of Alphonse Benny. This I appreciated. A fantastic documentary piece, under 49 minutes in length, and it is, as stated, an appreciation of the films that this man made, which is fantastic to look back on. He's done so much there, and I understand it and I get it as a filmmaker. I totally appreciate that part of it, but the Cameroon Connection I really could have done without in this box set. That's followed by a 2022 Q&A of Alphonse Benet. Runs for about 11 minutes in length, but very good to see, and his views on films and filmmaking and his own movies, of course. That's followed by Super Dragon, the Bruce Lee story. This is the first time watch for me. It was an okay movie. Bruce Lee was fantastic in it though. I did really love him in this. And it was a nice picture. I really appreciated the print. For the first time watch, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But yeah, for me, an okay movie. I'll give it a second go, or sorry, a third go I should say, because I did watch it a second time with the audio commentary, partial audio commentary with Mike Wirth, of course, but that did make for a great listen. There was a lot of informative stuff about it, which made me appreciate it a wee bit more. Then you have a TV spot, unrestored, runs for about 30 seconds, which was pretty cool to see. And then you have a trailer that runs for just over 2 minutes, again unrestored, presented in 4:3 ratio. And it's a blend of Super Dragon and The Dragon Dies Hard. Pretty cool to see. Check that out before you watch that new print. And again, that quality difference will knock your socks off. The Dragon Lives follows that. I really thought that this was a very, very odd movie, although I had a lot of fun with it. A fantastic picture overall, and again, Bruce is just fantastic in it. Watched it a second time with the audio commentary with Mike Wirth and Karen Stedman. That made for a really great listen. And then the audio interview piece with songwriter Andres Nelson. It's in and out for about 27 minutes. But again, an interesting piece overall and definitely worth checking out there. There's also an interview with Karen Stedman That runs for just over 15 minutes. And again, a very good piece to add in here as an extra feature. Interesting, nice to hear for someone that didn't really get a lot out of the Hong Kong film industry. I felt it was an interesting interview to put on here, but it was nice to hear her views and her memories on the movie itself. She of course plays Linda Lee in the movie. Then you have Bruce Biopics Roundtable Chat. This is the next discussion, runs for just under 2 minutes in length, and is another good chat about the Bruce Lee biopics, or biopics, however you want to say it, but definitely well worth listening to. And then you have 2 TV spots that run in total for just over a minute in length. These are a fun watch, but again, unrestored and well worth checking out before you go and see that amazing picture quality of that HD restoration. That's followed by the fantastic Godfrey Ho movie, The Dragon, the Hero. This is such a great film and an absolute favourite. So many amazing kung fu battles throughout and a great cast. This print was fantastic, definitely better than any DVD version I've ever had. Also, the audio commentary with Michael Worth, Godfrey Ho himself and Frank Jiang is such a fun listen. I highly recommend you check that out with it. Then there's a Godfrey Ho interview, runs for around 18 minutes in length. This is an absolutely fantastic piece. The more I see of this man, the more I just love him. Very, very interesting and definitely worth checking out if you're a genuine fan of his and Hong Kong cinema. Then there's a host of deleted scenes. These are quite low res, run for about 23 minutes in length, some in English, some with subtitles, very much extended fight scenes that are worth checking out, of course, but also probably worth catching 5 minutes of this before you go into the print, just till you see the difference in that quality, because it'll blow your mind. But yeah, 23 minutes of deleted scenes and extended fight scenes, which is pretty cool. Then you have a trailer of the movie as Dragon on Fire, its alternate title. This runs for just under 2 minutes, unrestored, but definitely good to see, and again worth checking out before you see that HD restored print. Following that is the Dragon Lee movie, Rage of the Dragon. This was an absolute fight fest of a movie. Such a fun film, a first time watch for me. A good, what I would call a good grindhouse print. It still had plenty of dancing lines on screen and speckles kicking about and some dust flecks and stuff, but it's still made for a really good watch. And that HD print does stand out when you watch the trailer first. Just under 2 minutes in length, unrestored, but watching that first and going into the print lets you see the difference and the work put into it. There's a great audio commentary with Mike Worth and Chris Pajali that makes for a great listen, so check that out. And then there's another roundtable discussion, this time for just over 8 minutes in length, about Kung Fu theatres. Makes for a fun chat and plenty of nostalgia there, so do indeed give that a go. Now, if you bought your collection from the Severin web store, you would have got this bonus disc, including The Big Boss 2 and The Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger. 2 bonus movies on one disc, which I was super excited to get. The Big Boss 2, absolutely brilliant, fantastic to finally see it. Not a perfect film by any means, but such a fun film and a great print. Still very grindhouse film-like with burnt in subtitles, and the sound can be a wee bit echoey at times. But when you check out that trailer, that just under 4 minutes in length trailer, totally low res and unrestored, my God, what a difference. So please do yourself a favour. Unfortunately, it's the only extra feature apart from the Severin Kung Fu Theatre intro. But check out that trailer before you see what they've done with this edition of The Big Boss 2. A bit of a rarity, but absolutely well worth checking out. And the final film of the set is The Black Dragon versus the Yellow Tiger, a movie I never even heard about, have no idea what was going on, and another first watch for me. This was so much fun. The fight action was fantastic. It kind of spins Way of the Dragon with a hint of Game of Death, spliced by 2 different prints. Bit of a Frankenstein project, but the print looks pretty damn good. It is a very fun film overall, and again, if you got this bonus disc, definitely well worth checking out. There's a fantastic audio commentary from Michael Worth and bits of Clint Robson. Make for a great listen and definitely very informative for a movie that I know nothing of. Then the extra feature with this is the Aquarius release trailer. Runs for just under 4 minutes in length. unrestored, but pretty good to watch, a lot of fun, and gives the film a very independent feel, a very independent look, which I really liked. But again, check that trailer out first before you go into the print, and you'll see quite a difference there. But overall, a fantastic collection of movies. I'm extremely happy and thankful to Severin for putting this out, and I'm looking forward to Volume 2. So thank you once again for watching another video here on Invincible Asia. Don't forget you can check out hundreds of others here on the channel. You can also show your continued support by heading over to my new merch store or by checking out invincibleasia.com, where you can read my full movie reviews, and follow me on Instagram at InvincibleAsia. Until next time though, enjoy your Kung Fu, and I will see you soon.